Hello, hello. It's me, Hello. And let me put down a little bit of the laptop sound. Thank you. Today, I have something to reveal. Today, I have a whole new model to reveal, actually. It's actually the same one, but it's much cleaner and better and nicer. So let's do it on number one, number two, and number three. Here's my new model. It's basically the same thing, but it's much cleaner. It's less prone to weird little chroma key creeping. And yeah, I just look like a nice, I just look like a nice creature now. A nice, clean, and beautiful creature. And yeah, today we're just hanging out, drawing a little bit. It's gonna be a short stream. Um, yeah, let me just change the jumping time to drawing time. Yup, yup, great, incredible. And yeah, it's awesome, incredible, beautiful, I would say. I think it's also time for us to change the settings of this thing to make sure that it all flips very nicely. Okay, something else that I changed with my setup is that I mostly got rid of little corners in my overlay. Some corners in my overlay were real weird, but we got we got some nice. Let me actually still do some funsies with the sound while I'm here, because to me it's like really loud. To you guys, it should be alright. Yeah, yeah. I hope it's alright. I hope it's alright. Yeah. So that's kind of it. That's kind of the final setup for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I'm super excited. Today we're mostly working on the background update for this girly pop. Um, so yeah, let's see what we can do, and let me actually check if I have any feedback from my Ian. Oops, I forgot. Oops, I forgot to send something, which was really unfortunate to see. Anyways, let's see. Let's let's just begin as if it didn't happen. Just goodness, I'm so busy lately. I'm so busy lately, and it's starting to affect how much flight work can take. And I'm not doing great. I'm not doing great. If somebody would ask me how I'm doing, not the greatest. Not the greatest. Constantly have a feeling like I'm running behind, and I probably am running behind. Which is never fun to know that you're running behind. Yeah, but still the stairs a little crazy. Right, make it darker, some nice. I love Indians. They're they're relatively easy to make. Now when we take curtains, I think I will. Yeah, they need this kind of like this. It's gonna be just a very simple background. Um, of the windows, some curtains, and the staircase. Yeah, I really hope that the client will love it because I'm personally loving it. Yeah, let's take it closer. Look at it. Be fine. I don't really expect anybody to buy. Although it would be cool, I would be down to draw. But yeah, I am just swamped with it's getting a little ridiculous. I'm not as swamped as some other people I know, but it's pretty hard to manage things. Still struggling. I was recently chatting with somebody about how just hard it gets when you also have like a job, like a proper job that's come to with shifts and all, and then combining that with studying, basically impossible. I know that some people are taking PTO or even unpaid, and I'm just like, I'm both happy and not very happy that I have that, because I can't imagine myself struggling at all. Yeah, but yeah, still rather excited. A lot of really interesting projects, a lot of really cool things. I ended up accidentally getting into Metal Gear Solid, which was an interesting ride. We basically needed to make like an essay thing um on some contemporary media things, and we chose Metal Gear Solid. We chose Kojima, and dang, I did not think that it would be so relevant today. Because the game is like more than 20 years old, closer to 30. Guys, if it came out today, I would not be surprised. It's simply insane. But you know what? Also, what's also insane? Hi, hi. This is my favorite character in Uma Musume, Vodka. She's an amazing, she's an amazing girl. Here's also some more Uma Musume characters that introduced yesterday. There, Tiema Parao and Meisha Data. I absolutely love to make some foodie. But yeah, speaking of Metal Gear Solid, so I went a little overboard, and my friends also went a little overboard. We started sketching them, especially a lot of Speak, a lot of them, a lot of them. I, as always, subject taking them into dog. Something recently has been getting into my head about those like soft youth boys, these like floppy ears, these C-shaped tails. Yes, like something's getting around. I don't know. I feel it might be just like seasonal depression and something that I need to contract it with. But yeah, he's a beautiful little Meryl. Um, also Sniper Wolf. And Liquid ended up making him a borzoi. While Snake is some kind of, I don't know, mixed. Something mixed. Yeah. The idea behind behind Snake and Sniper Wolf is that I basically want everybody who's like actively on a battlefield and like has been doing it for some time have flipped ears and tails. So like he doesn't have a tail, he has very choppy ears. She doesn't have a tail, also has very choppy ears. This guy would also have not a lot of tail and ears, but um, with his long hair, it's like a little harder. Otacon has them intact just because he's like a scientist and doesn't really deal with things. And then Meryl, she, because like, she's so young and she's just like she was just getting on there. Um, so I decided to keep both of her ears and tail, but somewhere in the middle of the plot, she would like accidentally get chopped like half of her tail. Um, and she would be like super freaking bummed about it. Um, but at the end of the day, like she dies, so not not too much of a tragedy compared to how she dies. I think I'll probably chop off her tail during the Mantis fight. So yeah, but these two, they just like so cute, so adorable. And Otacon, he's like literally just like a Chikawa character. It's yeah, very adorable, very adorable. Yeah, that's what I've been up to lately. Even more Otacon. But now it's a human, so we don't really care. And weird mantis, which happened, and I'm not too excited that it happened. It was really painful to watch actually. But yeah, coming back to the artwork, I think actually these cartoons look good for now. So let's see how we can work the windows. Something that Clips to Japan recently added is quick shapes, and they're amazing. I am in love with quick shapes. It's like very revolutionary from Procreate. They can even edit it like that. Boom. It's something really revolutionary from Procreate. Uh, but in Procreate, it's very like it's overly user friendly. I would say it's overly like you know how Apple does their design. It's overly thin. Um, actually, just put it by hand. Oh, wait. It's way too user design engine, I'd say. And so in the end, it just doesn't work half of the time. And I just outright hate it. Like, sometimes I would try to make a circle, and it would give me, like, something like this happen, instead of just giving me a circle. Here, what I like is that as soon as it recognizes a shape, you can change it to any shape you want, in case it didn't realize what happens. And you can even do, like, the lines. Would be cool if like it had like similar to vectors where you could change the thickness of the line. But aside from that, I'm really happy with it. It's just an amazing additional. It's something that I'm using like constantly. These not fences. This railing wouldn't be possible without the speech action. Okay, like I say would because I still have like the command and I can do this, but it's like so much less intuitive, and I keep it's like it's very hard to do on the tablet. It's just really hard to do on the tablet, which is something I'm not excited about, and so I barely use it. So yeah, as a whole, I still believe that Clip Studio Paint is the best value for money. Um, because yes, of course, it might be quite expensive if you buy it one time for the PC. It's impossible to buy it one time for the mobile devices, but I'm paying like $25 a year, and it is a professional grade software, which is very easy later to switch from Clip Studio Paint to, let's say, Photoshop. and it is genuinely good. The moment they did something stupid, I think it was something about like generative AI, they got shot by their users and they stopped doing anything similar to it. They keep getting various sales and everything. So if I'm not mistaken, my first year was literally maybe like $15 a year of this beautiful software. And like I get all of my updates for free. I get to keep all of my coins. They don't expire. So yeah. And if I want, like, if I'm not mistaken, the expansion to another device would only be like additional be like $10. It's just like, guys, sure. In general, like Clip City Paint has been one of my best investments into drawing, into creating. Um, yeah, and I don't think that people need Clip City X most of the time because honestly, I don't believe that it's good for animation. Clip Studio is not super good for animation. It can do animation, sure, but when you have to pay for it quite a bit additionally, and then it's like it's still quite blanky and it doesn't really do a lot of things aside from like basic frame by frame animation. I'm sorry, in that case, why not just get Procreate Dreams or Don't Squid? Like, of course, we're talking if we are working on the iPad. Unfortunately, iPad gets like it's so important. It has so many softwares just made for the iPad that if I would want to switch to Android-based tablet, for example, or a different OS-based tablet. What if I wanted to do like a Linux tablet? I don't know. Basically, I would lose so much money and convenience because I already have a lot of softwares here. I already have Thomas Colt, I already have ToonScript, I already have Procreate Dreams, Clip Studio, not a problem to change. I already have just a bunch of things, including all Affinity things like Publisher, Designer, and what was it? And Photo Affinity before they went into Canva. Yeah, I already have so much stuff on here that it's practically impossible to switch. And recently, they've even made a software for texturing 3D, which is really neat, even though I don't really like it. And they're asking to pay $25. Well, I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, there is some software for retopology, which is specifically for iPad. Like, there is so much software. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, Blender is planning to come out on an iPad, like in the nearest years. And so in the end, I'm kind of stuck to this ecosystem, and I hate it a lot. I generally dislike Apple. iPad is my only device from Apple. Well, iPad and Pencil. But I don't know if Pencil can be counted. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of sad that this is happening, but I also understand why it's happening. It's basically like almost the same thing as Steam getting getting a lawsuit for being too popular. Like, I'm sorry guys, Steam is just that good. Like, you cannot take it from them. Um And so, when developing, I guess, the software, with iPads having the M chips, which are like really good chips, if I'm not mistaken, at least to my knowledge. It's almost impossible to switch. It makes it really hard overall to do anything outside of it. Basically, unless you want to like sail the seas or pay a lot of money for things, for example, like ZBrush for sculpting, um, you can't really get it. The ZBrush is expensive. It's also really complicated, and there is not a lot of alternatives for the desktop. Because as soon as an alternative pops up, it's immediately like, oh, and ZBrush doesn't have that. Oh no, sorry. This alternative doesn't have what ZBrush has. Oh, this alternative is worse than ZBrush, guys. Let's go get ZBrush. But like, some softwares, some of their points is just to be accessible and to do their specific job. Alright, we also have Blender, but like, you know, still. Even, let's say, what to replace Photoshop with? What to replace Photoshop with for an artist? When you look at the PC's options, sure, you might have options like Fire Alpaca, even something like Cursed Medibang, and I remember that it was like really cursed. um, and then Clip Studio Paint. But if we start to ignore Clip Studio Paint, we literally have maybe like Fire Alpaca and Krita. Okay, Krita is a good one. But then when we start looking at the iPod, you get so many options. IBIS, which I actually like, really dislike IBIS. I feel like it's like a second Paintal Sai. Uh, it's ridiculous to me. I don't understand. I don't understand ISO. I don't understand the appeal of ISO. They both feel like really restrictive. With Paintals actually being better because it's a one-time purchase or a one-time download. And this thing um, being so weird. I think we're done with the drapery here. But all maybe just add a little bit of the star. Yes, this is somewhat. Let me just. Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. Because then come back. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And lucky that's like half of the background. Just there isn't a lot of it from that. I just want to reinforce most, make them a little nicer, like there's not any line art mean. I really like to hide the fact that I have line art. Because line art, it only feels natural when it's out. And so a lot of line art, it begins to like super noticeable. And I am not the biggest fan of. I generally don't really like to do liner. But completely liners drawing, that's not my thing. So currently I'm like, I still do line art. I'm not really caring about how precious it is. My brush is also like, if we get this brush up, one side is pretty good, and the other is just wee. But yeah, how much time has it been? Half an hour. Great, great. Find it amazing. I find it amazing. Alright, I think we today just do like the curtains, which we basically have finished. The stairs and the railings. I don't think there's like much more to do with this thing, but like, you know, it looks really good. I would want to add just a little bit of like harsh moment, and then maybe to add a little bit of light coming in. Because this is supposed to be some kind of expensive fabric. Probably like, I don't know, satin. So let's see if we can make it look like satin. Ooh. I'm really enjoying this little bit that's happening. They're super nice. Okay. Although they might start looking a little amateurish, if I would say. So I'm not sure. I mean, it's still gonna be alright. Uh, now it's a little bit more fine. Hmm. Yeah, I think it's gonna be alright. We just need to not overdo these. And okay, now I want to change the hue a little bit and incorporate some other hues because realistically speaking, she would probably give out a little bit of like color spell. The various. Oh, something like this. Does it look good? Yep, it does. Maybe for just the last little bit, I would add a little bit of blue to the stars. Because I feel like this light, what's really nice to do it sometimes, is that let's say we have like this really really warm light on an object. And now, as it gets warmer and warmer, and not warmer, but like as it gets more and more saturated as light, closer and closer to white. It can just suddenly go and say boop and shift. And then it like shifts. And it feels really strong. It feels incredible to see this hue shift. It's like it's really illuminating itself. Oh yeah. Hi to somebody who came. Basically, I showed this updated model, which is now a lot more cleaner, and we are currently working on the background of this submission. If you want to chat, feel free. If you want some doodle, also do let me know. Alright, let's move on to railing. Oh, okay, so yes. These railings, by the way, because they need to be both below and on top of the character. What I did, um, is that I added a mask to it. You can mask specific folders, which is really nice. And so if you can see on the black little thingy, the area of the tail, right here, yeah, is masked out. The area with the hand is masked out. And then the area with the elbow is masked out, but overall the character is behind. Typically, it would be like super annoying to be done, mainly because I would need to have separate layers for the hands and the tail, and then I wouldn't be able to render the character on just one layer. And like, nobody likes to switch between layers. Nobody likes to switch between layers, so I'm just masking the railings and I'm happy. But yeah, let's begin with the railing. I do want it to be colder, so I'm gonna desaturate something. And that's actually really nice to know that to make a shadow colder, especially with something that's yellow and you don't want it to go into the greens, instead you can just desaturate it. Because saturation often brings temperature. We tend to perceive a lot of saturated things as like warmer, let's say. So desaturated things become colder, and we can see it here. It's just a little desaturated and just a little darker, but it already feels like there is some kind of shift of purple. Like there is already like tiniest bit of something happening, and that's great. That's precisely what we want, and that's precisely why we're adding it. Should I maybe do some like do one and copy? I feel like I can get away with just doing one and copying these fancies. Because, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It should be fine. It should be fine. Okay. Okay. Now we just take this. We take this. We start adding a little bit here. We bring it out. And we make it beautiful. Because clients deserve beautiful things. Especially such incredible clients that I have here. We've been working with this client since, I want to say summer, and it has been incredible to work together. I am super lucky. And I'm just happy that they've been returning to me for more things. Yeah, incredible. Okay. Now to give the illusion that it's not just flat, I'm going to bring out some light here. Yep. I feel like I should return to studying some of the Decker's artworks because Decker is known for his style being like very hatching heavy, and this is beautiful what that guy did. Of course, there's like some criticism to him for certain artworks. If I'm not mistaken, he was quite a controversial figure, let's say like that. However, his works are genuinely incredible. It's like oftentimes you know how people love Picasso, even though he was genuinely like a incredibly harmful human being to other human beings, especially women. Uh, but everybody still love his artworks. Something similar is happening with my enjoyment of Lair Decker's artworks. I understand and acknowledge that he's not a great guy, but his style has. Ooh, this is gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be beautiful. Here I need to be a little careful because technically this whole thing should be like underneath something of this idea. I hope. I hope. Yeah. Okay. We're cooking. No worries, we're cooking. Now we just take around. Okay, I think I might need to blend it out because some of the hatchings are going into different directions, which is something that we obviously don't really want to happen. Generally, hatchings are recommended to be following the form, and while it's kind of happening here, not so much. Not so much, let's be honest. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of hiding the line art. And it might not be like super realistic considering that right behind it is like a light source. But nevertheless, because honestly, there's also like a light source a little bit above. It's not as sharp, harsh. Still there. So let me just carefully add it in and probably add it somewhere here as it's getting chubbier. Nice. And here. Good. Something of this kind, and now we go in and we see how it hopefully blends. And then we'll go around again and do a second little pass. And I hope that it's fine. I really hope that. Oh, well, I would also probably take a nice. Or is it too much? I feel like it's too much, yeah. unfortunately. Ooh, I have this. Yeah, I have this rainbow pencil. Let's add a little bit of hue and shape. Make it a little bit more like natural. Bring in some colors. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where it's going, but where? That's a question. Okay, let's get a little bit more of the opacity. We can. Yep. Yep. That's that's great. That's great. Awesome. Let me check. Okay, no, it should be good. It should be good. I know that some of the sounds started, and I also should probably close the stream. Mostly, you know what? It has been 40 minutes, and I think that yeah, it would be better to close it. So, thank you, thank you for coming. It was very fun to draw the guesses. This beautiful, beautiful background, and I hope y'all have a good night. Bye bye.